What is going on, everybody? John Impemba here with Andrew Cooper. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm GameDay Playbook live show here. Coop, we made it. NFL Week 1 just kicking off a few hours away. You're coming off of Sirius XM show with Howard Bender. I did the 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. show with Britt Flynn earlier today, man. How's your morning going?
Well, I'll tell you what, doing that show, the Sirius XM show, that one is a lot of fun, but that's all business. This one here, this is my most favorite show of the entire year. I honestly love doing this, just hitting on the questions and doing what we have always promised to do with the Fantasy Alarm members out there, which is if you need help, if you want to win your league, get in here, ask us our thoughts. We'll give them to you. You can take our advice or not, but it'll help you move you in the right direction. So get in here now, get your questions in the chat, and let's win some leagues. Let's buy some votes, John.
100%. So a lot to get to. Since the last hour, we've had a lot more news come out. We'll get you your NFL inactives as they come out. We obviously know already a couple of names, more than likely not expected to play tonight. Mark Andrews being a big one. We know Cooper Kupp is on IR. Jerry Jeudy not expected to play here today. We've heard some things, potential limitations. Maybe one of the biggest news items that has dropped over the last hour or so is the report that we could see Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris in a shared snap count role today, getting carries out of the Steelers' backfield. That being reported by Ian Rappaport. Many people were high on Jaylen Warren during the offseason. There's a lot of Najee Harris truthers out there. If you're a fantasy manager, you can't enjoy hearing that you may see Harris and Warren splitting carries today.
Well, it depends. If you're a Jaylen Warren manager, then it'd be nice. And I'll tell you what, I mean, the metrics point to Jaylen Warren offering something a little different than Najee Harris. The question for me really boils down to 2-minute drill. I hope this game is as close as they say it will be with the 49ers, where it goes to the wire. It's supposed to be a 2-point game. I want to see if it's Jaylen Warren in that 2-minute drill or if it's Najee Harris, because last year Najee got every single target in those situations, and you really don't have time to sub guys in and out. So if one of those guys, whoever gets that role, is going to have the whole role, and they're likely to have it for the whole season. And that could be the difference between Najee Harris paying his price or not. So I really do hope this is as close as they say it's going to be.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. Again, as we get more official inactives and news come out, we'll certainly have it. Coop, want to touch on weather at the top here before we do kick off everything. I see people rolling into chat. We appreciate you. Get your questions in. Coop and I will answer every question. You don't need to worry about typing it in twice. We will hit it before the show's out here. Coop, some potential weather situations going on. Raiders-Denver game, there's a chance of some rain with some wind around 10 miles an hour. Philadelphia, New England, we live in the New England area here, expecting some potential heavy rain to run through during the course of that game, and some scattered showers in the Houston-Baltimore game. Anything too concerning for weather for you today that you would avoid or fade certain players?
No, nothing too crazy. There's nothing crazy enough for me. We need to see wind, right, John? That's the thing. If we get like those 15-mile-an-hour winds, now I start saying, but we don't really have that today. So I'm not really factoring weather too much into it.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. Guys, I love that you're all in chat here. We got a cool thing going on over at the Better Sports Network. That is the Bettercast. Coop, why don't you let the people know what Bettercast is all about?
Yeah, so Bettercast is the coolest thing. Honestly, it allows you to watch, play, win, as the logo says there. You basically jump in right now, right? So after you set your lineups, you have some time to kill. It has some pre-show questions that you get in there, and you get points for those. And then live during the show, it asks more questions, and you just kind of throw in your answers while you're watching. It gives you points, and you can use those points to get things like Fanatics gift cards, jerseys. We're going to do live shows, like live watch parties for, say, like a Thursday night game. We might have a player or a celebrity that likes that team. We're going to do live shows where you can get tickets to join those exclusive shows and kind of talk with some of your favorites. So that's going to be super cool. If you go to the App Store right now, it's called Bettercast, Bettorcast, or scan the code right there, or right in our YouTube link, you just click that, and you can actually watch shows like this right on there. So
right on there, yeah. We'll be having live shows at the 1 p.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. games here today over on Bettercast. So take advantage and sign up for that and download the app today, along with becoming a member of the Fantasy Star family. If you're tuning in and not yet already a subscriber here, we have a 7-day free trial. That means if you sign up today, you'll also get next week included in your 7-day free trial, access to all of our premium content on-site, playbooks, seasonal content for all sports, and We have a 40% off deal going on for our annual subscription package as well. So scan the QR code there, go to fantasyalarm.com/win, become a member of the Fantasy Alarm family today. Coop, chat's filling up. We got
the questions
here. Let's get into it. Daniel in the chat, kicking it off. Good morning, good sir. Need to for flex. Javonte, Ayuk, Gibson, or Pickens?
Wow, first man in the chat, dude. What a legend. I'm gonna go with I don't trust Javonte, John. I know we're kind of in when he got the 5 targets in the preseason game, but now they're saying specifically that it's going to be a snap count. I like starting Gibson in that game that should be a blowout against the Cardinals, and I'm going to start Ayuk. Pickens scares me a little bit. The implied point total for the Steelers is pretty bad. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I actually do think the Steelers could potentially win this game outright today.
Me too.
The one thing with Pickens is he is their big play guy. So if they do get in that red zone, if they do take some shots downfield, he's the guy. He's the guy that could go 3 catches for 100 yards and a score, right? He's not the volume Deontay Johnson type play, but man, it's so tough for me. I still think I'm going to lean Javonte here. I know you mentioned the snap counts. There seems to be some inconsistent reporting on that. The headlines all day yesterday were snap count, snap count, snap count. But what Sean Payton actually said is he doesn't have a number in mind for Javonte Williams. And then there was another report that came out that said McLaughlin was going to get some carries. And so to me, I still think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors here. I think I'm going to go Javonte and probably Ayuk for me.
You have all year to start Javonte if he's playing a full snap share.
Yeah, I got Ayuk and Gibson. Best matchups on the board for him.
But he's got good. He has good options this week, though. It'd be one thing if he had no good options, but sure. Gibson and Ayuk, lock that in, man.
All right, Gibson and Ayuk. My word with Gibson is that they're going to be leading from ahead, and Robinson's going to get all the work there.
I don't know if they're going to just give one guy all the work. I think they'll split it up. But you're right. It is a good Robinson game, too.
Great Robinson game. We'll probably get some questions there. Good morning, guys, from Willow Hayes. Start one of my flex. Sutton or Cook and a half PPR.
Sutton, slam a jamma.
Yeah.
I mean, no Jerry Judy. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Sutton's the guy, right?
I would agree with you 100% on that one. AA in here. Khalil Herbert, how do you feel about him this season? Should I start him over Zeke Elliott and a half PPR?
Man, that's rough because I think the thing about Khalil Herbert is even if he's the full-time starter, that team they have a mobile quarterback who takes it himself in the red areas and doesn't like dumping it down to the running back. So I don't think it's all that different between Herbert and Zeke, but Zeke, of course, has the worst matchup, John. So what do you think? Go Herbert.
The one thing with Zeke for me this week is that Ramondre Stevenson is dealing with an illness all week. So you have to wonder how much of an impact that's going to have with him and if that means Zeke gets a little bit more carries. But he's running into a just ridiculously stout Eagles team. So, yeah, I probably lean Herbert here over Zeke. Your favorite guy, Ty Montgomery, also got elevated to the main roster today. So
let's go.
Happy for you there. And Dunn says, good morning. Good morning to you, Ann. I look forward to your questions in the chat. Our guy, Dan, I think we know Dan here.
Yeah, we do know
a little
Dan.
Isaiah Likely question here, Coop. I'm not facing him this week, so I don't have to worry about the answers that we're about to give. I don't know if you're facing Dan this week, but thoughts on Isaiah Likely today?
So when you actually remove Travis Kelce, who's already played, and Sam Laporta, who's already played, and Mark Andrews, who's now out, Isaiah Likely actually ends up as a top 10 tight end for me. So I'm going to post my rankings right after the show. The inactives come out at 11:30. We're going to hit on those during the show. But I'm going to repost my updated rankings, and you're going to see obviously guys like Hawkinson, Waller, Pitts, Njoku, Goddard ahead, and also Tyler Higbee, Evan Ingram, Freiermuth. I trust the guys that we can trust. But
so
I'm going to have
your tight end 10 then.
10 and 10, yeah. I'm going to put him ahead of quick math there, John. Very smart. I'm going to have him ahead of Kincaid and Dulcich. So
it was just a guess because you rattled off a lot of names. Right, it felt like 10 to me.
10.
John Wheeler in chat saying Baker for president. That's
mods. Get him out of the chat.
Baker for not. I got to stop Coop. Everybody's in here for Coop.
Gosh, what up, baby?
Donald Dew is into the 9 a.m. show. He's back here at 11. Happy to have you back with us, my friend. Pickett or Richardson for you?
Go big. Just start Anthony Richardson. The thing is, Kenny Pickett, if this were a game where Kenny Pickett was going up against like the Chargers and the over-under was like 48 or something, then I would go Pickett. But the over-under is like 40. So I'm just going to go with the mobile guy, John. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Richardson's obviously the exciting player, but for me in this spot here, I feel like Pickett's in the better situation.
My question is, what does the game look like for Anthony Richardson if it goes absolutely impossibly poorly? I mean, how few rushing yards can he have? I think he minimum.
Well, he could end up with like 60 with like 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
right? Like that's the turnovers is what worries me. I think he could get the rushing yards, but like a couple of picks, maybe a strip sack fumble or two, like those are well within the range of outcomes for a rookie quarterback making his debut that is mobile. We saw that with Fields. We've seen it with Hurts. Like we see some of these guys when they first get in the league, they're so used to at the college level just running away from people. And now they have linebackers that run 4.3s chasing them down. You know, not the guy in accounting that plays on the opposite side of them in college. So that's my lone worry, Richardson. And I'm high on Richardson this year. I just think I lean Pickett here in week 1.
He's the QB whisperer, so we're going Pickett.
All right, love it. Flex here, Brian Robinson, Swift, or Charbonnet. We already said we're in on Robinson here.
Yeah. If you don't start Robinson now against the Cardinals, when are you ever going to start him?
Look at the Washington Commander schedule. Tell me when you feel comfortable playing Brian Robinson. It's about just this week.
Start him this week and then drop him.
Right?
Actually, next week's not so bad. Next week's not so bad.
This week and then trade him high. You know, that's what I'm doing.
Exactly. Yeah. Next week's not bad for the Washington, but then it gets real bad for a long time.
It gets real bad. Dotson or Jamal Williams as a flex PPR. Williams for me here, I think.
I like Jamal Williams as well. Yeah, I'm staying away from Dotson and McLaurin both for that same narrative situation where, especially McLaurin with the toe, if they're just crushing the Cardinals, there's no reason to have that guy out there aggravating a toe. So I'm Dotson and McLaurin I'm putting away. Jamal Williams, the only thing scary for Jamal Williams is that guy Taysom Hill lurking in the shadows, ready to steal the touchdowns.
Well, that's that for sure. But the fact that there really isn't a guy behind Jamal Williams, I feel pretty good about.
Yeah.
And done here in the questions. Need one: Brandon Cooks, Nico Collins, or Javonte, and then Chig or Kincaid. Coop.
The New York Giants are starting 2 rookie cornerbacks. I didn't actually realize that until yesterday that they were both going to be rookies out there. So Brandon Cooks, one's a 1st-round pick and one's a 6th-round pick. So if the 1st-round pick's covering Lamb, I think Brandon Cooks is kind of
I love Brandon Cooks
sneaky play. Yeah.
One of the few times I played somebody over Javonte today personally. I'm a little biased though. I have Javonte Williams in 10 of my 12 leagues, so I need Javonte to be a guy. But love Brandon Cooks. And then Chig or Kincaid for you today.
Kincaid, just because the thing with Chig is I was hopeful to start in week 1, but Treylon Burks apparently is 100%, not even on the injury report, which is a real quick turnaround for him. And good for Britt Flynn and good for Arkansas and good for Treylon Burks. But got to give me Kincaid. Just going to, even though it's a tough matchup, I just go for the upside play.
I agree. Jamie in here saying good morning. Good morning to you, Jamie. Joshua question, last minute tilt, full PPR, need to. Connor, Sanders, Jahan Dotson.
Miles Sanders for me, and I think I'm just going to go with the 2 running backs. What do you think, John?
Listen, I think James Conner's going to get a lot of volume here in this game, regardless, both in the passing game and the running game. So give me the 2 backs for me as well. Rod and Shaq, good morning, man. Rod, Rashad White or Javonte Williams?
John, these are both your guys, I feel, so I'll let you pick this one.
You put me on the spot. Rashad White feels safer. I like Javonte Williams for the upside. So
I know. Everybody out there with Javonte Williams, actually, I can't even say make a DFS lineup because he's on a snap count. I don't know. I'm just starting Rashad White.
Play Rashad White. Rashad White makes more sense.
Think about this.
There's less uncertainty around Rashad White, even though I am pretty in on Javonte. Rashad White is in a equally good spot, and he's such a good player. So.
If Javonte Williams goes off on your bench, you won't be sad. You'll be happy because no matter where you got him, you got a discount, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
For the whole offseason.
I mean, listen, you know me. I've been taking Javonte Williams since March. Yeah. So,
March.
I'm all in.
So, So, but it's like just put him on the bench. You'll be happy no matter what because if he's good, then
we have so many Javonte Williams questions coming in though. Coop, Donald again. London, Pierce, or Javonte pick 2. I can't go Pierce against Baltimore. Can you?
Nah. Unless that's Alec Pierce. So Donald. I imagine it's the running back Pierce, but let us know. Either way, I'm going to go with London. I think I'm going to go London and Javonte Williams. We're going to pick Javonte Williams for some of these questions. No doubt about it. But if you have a 3-down back like a Rashad White, then you got to go with that guy.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Gemo,
That's Gemo, dude. That's Gemo.
I know who Gemo is. I just want to know if it was Gemo or Gemo. Gemo the icon. Coop, Njoku likely.
Got to go Njoku, man. He's got such a good matchup. It's going to be a high-scoring game, and people forget the Bengals lost both their starting safeties in free agency. They lost Jesse Bates. They lost Von Bell. Those 2 guys led that team in snaps. They both played 97 and 98% of the snaps last year. So down the seam could be the money spot for this Browns offense. In the other league, I'm starting Dalton Kincaid. I have those guys back-to-back, and anyone that was doing the Dalton double dip with us knows the situation there. Schultz is probably a little safer, but he's still playing with rookie QB himself. and Kincaid is our upside play. I personally am just going to go with Kincaid, knowing that if Kincaid falls on his face and he's just not who we thought he was, Schultz will always be Schultz, and you can start him for the rest of the year.
Better Boston here saying happy Anthony Richardson Day. Listen, I hope he does well too. I have shares for sure. I just don't know if this is the spot against Jacksonville here. Taco Corbin here from the Discord, my friend. Dalvin Cook, P. Ryan, or Brian Robinson?
Go. Man, I would love to know if that was full PPR or not. I think Dalvin Cook is the
no restrictions.
No restrictions on Dalvin Cook.
I've said this from the beginning. And I said this on a 9 a.m. show too. The Aaron Rodgers, Dalvin Cook, it feels a lot to me like Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, where Tom Brady goes to Tampa and he's like, no, get me this running back. He's my guy. I'm not playing around with what they have. Aaron Rodgers goes to New York. He's like, Brees Hall is fine and all, but give me Dalvin Cook. I've played against him for the last 10 years. That's the guy I want to go to battle with. So
for sure. Brian Robinson, if it's standard, maybe Brian Robinson, but any sort of PPR, go Dalvin Cook.
Yep. And again, another question here on tight ends, Goddard and Njoku. I love Njoku today.
I have Njoku ahead, and it's not just because of Njoku's matchup. Dallas Goedert has a terrible matchup. Kyle Duggar is just he's just good at covering tight ends. As simple as that. Yep. So you just don't want to put guys against him. Yep.
Big and fast. Donald, again, another question, Cook or Brees? It's Cook for me.
Cook.
We got a question here a comment. Sarah in here says she's taking you down this week, Coop. From our
honestly, in that league, I wouldn't be surprised. One of these years,
we don't have a good. I actually did make the playoffs last year, but we haven't had
one of these years. I'm going to get a good keeper, and then you're all in big.
The trouble. Auto drafter won last year, so that just says everything you need to know about our home league. There,
that league's tough.
Ethan in here. Good morning, happy on PPR. P. Ryan, Jamal Williams, Christian Kirk.
Jamal Williams, right? Or Christian
Jamal
Kirk.
Williams, yeah. It's Williams or Kirk. I lean Jamal Williams.
Yep.
Troy's in here saying, "Hey,
Troy."
So a lot of questions. Let's see. Dotson or Javonte here for man.
Boy, I think I'm gonna go Dotson. I am scared of Javonte.
So averse to Javonte.
I'm so scared.
Javonte Williams. So not even second thinking that one. So that's where I'm at.
Terry McLaurin's got a hurt toe.
Yeah, so they say. You practice in full. Waddle or Keenan Allen today?
Ask somebody else, Ann. Honestly. What's the next one?
I'm too in bed with Javonte Williams and not.
I know you are. You're pot committed. That's why you're unbiased. I mean, you're too biased.
I'll go back to it after this one. Waddle or Keenan Allen for Shawnee Mack?
Jesus, Shawnee, your team is a wagon, huh? You can't get both those guys in the lineup.
Right? Your best question?
I would start Keenan Allen simply because Waddle's been a little banged up, and that's the only reason.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Plus, I think the matchup for Waddle could be a little tough. If those both close corners are healthy for the Chargers, that's good defense.
They're very good.
The question I missed, Kupp is already on IR, so you can't play Kupp. Oh, is this a trade?
Trade.
This is a trade. Kupp and Gibbs for Brown, Akers, and Kamara. I would take Brown, Akers, and Kamara.
I would take the trade, yeah. What the hell?
Kupp's out for 4 weeks. So
why do you get Akers for free? I mean, the thing about Kamara at this point is that, think about it. He's going to miss 3 games. Gibbs has already played a game, so you're only getting 2 extra games of Gibbs, and we're hoping that Gibbs becomes Kamara, or you can just have Kamara himself.
Yep, I agree with you. Ozzy here, Sanders or Mostert in a half PPR? No Devin A-Chain for Miami today.
I know, those are my 2 babies, but there's also no Teron Armstead, which that's
the thing is for me too is that the Chargers last year were very bad against the run, but that's also last year.
I know. I think it, even though I'm like the foremost Miles Sanders guy, I think it might still be Mostert. What do you think, John?
I lean Mostert because I think that we see more points scored by the Dolphins today.
Yeah, go Mostert, man. Because there's no Jeff Wilson and no A-Chain. But keep an eye on that. They said likely to be out. If A-Chain all of a sudden is like a last-minute play, then go Miles Sanders.
Yeah, we got officially inactive Mark Andrews. Again, the inactives will come out when we get those. We'll be sure to rattle them off for all of you guys here. Kevin Tompkins says that the Javonte pitchforks are coming for Coop. I would agree with that.
I imagine they will.
We got a DFS question here for DraftKings. Daryl Hill, the Sunday-Monday slate. Do you go Pollard or Derrick Henry? We did have a report a little while ago saying that the Cowboys are looking to get Tony Pollard 18 to 20 carries.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
In this game.
So, Pollard had that tightrope surgery, but apparently he's fully good. So I'm starting Pollard. And then my question for you, John, real quick is, are you starting, because you got to get, with these corners for the Giants, you got to get one of Lamb or Cooks in there. Who do you like better?
Well, you go Lamb, I think. But I guess if this is a DFS question, you figure out your salary, right, if you can afford. But yeah, I mean, listen, Lamb's the cover of the Fantasy
Yeah.
Alarm Draft Guide, so we're all in on some CD Lamb here. But I do love Brandon Cooks for sure. If you need to pivot down, save some money, like Howard Bender flag planted him as a 1,000-yard receiver this year, so he also in on Brandon Cooks here. Andrew with the question: Likely or Ingram today?
It's still Ingram. We like the idea of likely, but you got to remember he was averaging 8 targets a game in those games where Andrews missed, but he was not particularly effective in those games. So
yeah.
And again, it's also a new offense. So I'm just going with Ingram. He's still too safe right now.
Breaking news there. Mark Andrews officially inactive, as we saw it there. Skinny McKinney in here saying good morning, time to rock.
Skinny.
Let's see. A Mile High Luke as well. Good luck today. Good luck to you. Ozzy said he had a trade. Miles Sanders for Javonte Williams.
Is he trying to troll us right now? Those are our two flag plants.
I know.
I like Miles Sanders. I'm keeping Miles Sanders. I was picking Miles Sanders over Javonte. I'm sticking with it.
Well, he got offered Miles Sanders for Javonte.
I would take that.
You would take that? I would not take that. So
there you go.
I think long-term upside for Javonte in Denver is better than Miles Sanders in Carolina, personally.
No. Yes.
Get in the game wants to know, do we have a sneaky DFS play? Get in the game. Are you on FanDuel or DraftKings that plays a little bit up to it? But I like the Denver Broncos defense today. You look historically, Denver's home record early in the season is very good. Teams just don't adjust to the elevation there. And then you're looking at the Raiders offense, right? I mean, yes, they have Devontae Adams, but still feels like a lot of questions with Jimmy Garoppolo. Josh Jacobs missed the entire offseason, and now he's expected to come in and play an every down role for me. And again, I just trust Sean Payton getting that team back in order. Denver looks to be a low roster team. If you're on DraftKings, the Commanders are like $2,800. They're not sneaky; they're the chalk, but they're $2,800. So
I just wanted to point out that the question you answered was Tommy Roush, and he's a Raiders fan. So you just told him to start the Broncos defense against his favorite team.
He knows his team. Sorry,
you got to be unbiased, man. You got to separate the head from the heart.
Yeah,
if you want to win the big money.
No biases in the betting game. That's for sure. Better Boss wants to know, so we switched to Hulu, YouTube TV to Hulu for Red Zone. You have to do whatever you can to get Red Zone. So.
Yeah, I did the YouTube TV deal. FanDuel has a deal right now. It's like if you place a $5 bet, then you get $100 off. That's what I did.
I love it. All right, back to some deep fantasy questions here. And Mostert, Dubs, or Chick in a PPR?
Mostert.
Yeah, Mostert for sure. Yeah. Mike 32, Kenneth Walker, Javonte in a flex today.
So Kenneth Walker, is he a full go? I know he was dealing with
all
injury.
Reports are he is not on the injury report, but obviously he had the groin issue there going into this week.
Well, one guy's on a snap count. One guy.
in theory, one guy. What we heard was that he doesn't have a snap count in mind for him. So that snap count could be 90. We don't know.
that was the quote, that he doesn't have one in mind.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. The headline that was put out by the certain Twitter tweet company that I won't mention to trash them said snap count for Javonte Williams. Then if you watch the video, Sean Payton was asked, do you have a snap count in mind for Javonte Williams? He says, no, I don't have a snap count in mind for Javonte.
All right, start Kenneth Walker.
Yes. I am playing Javonte Williams.
Okay.
Zach Charbonnet for life. We're in. Elias here, pick one TPR, full PPR. Waller, Higbee, likely, and then pick one for a flex. Stevenson, Godwin, Sutton.
Waller's full go, and it's either Godwin or Sutton for me because Stevenson's banged up, and it's a tough
I like Godwin.
matchup.
Even though I hate Baker, I like Godwin against Minnesota.
Vikings, yeah.
That's where I'm going to go. Geek Mill in the chat. So Coop, Dolchik, Komet, 16 team, half-point tight end premium today.
That one got very easy once we heard that Jerry Jeudy wasn't going to play.
Yeah.
So get him in there. Get Greggy in there. Let's go.
Greg Dolchik. Sarah says not in the matchup against you, Coop. She wants to know Dylan, Charbonnet, Elijah Moore, or Juju need 2 for PPR.
So I think I like Juju in full PPR and also AJ Dillon, but I could be sold on Charbonnet. I'm just not ready to trust Elijah Moore yet, John.
Yeah, so I think Dylan's probably in a good spot. It's a little unknown, but the fact that there is no Christian Watson and that we know that Romeo Doubs is going to be on a snap count today should make them lean on the running game a little bit more against a very bad Bears defense. I love Aaron Jones today for DFS, but Dylan makes some sense there. I don't know about Juju, man. The Eagles defense is so good. I think I lean Elijah Moore. I think
Yeah.
not to make it hard on you, Sarah. I go Moore and Dillon for me.
It is tough to. I mean, Sarah, I know you're a Pats fan. You're gonna be rooting for Juju anyway, and there's no escaping the corners for the Eagles because they have Slay on one side and Bradbury on the other. So I guess that is a tough matchup. But Tom Brady's in the building today, so anything.
He isn't, well, unless Tom Brady's suiting up for the Patriots, I don't think they stand a chance in hell. So
I tell you, the line opened at 5. Now it's down to 3.5.
Yeah, so maybe
Tom Brady magic. The moment Tom Brady landed in New England, that line just
maybe they're giving them some of those deflated footballs. Kyle Wilson here, got him with them. Tight end premium likely or Thielen in a flex.
In tight end premium, I'm actually going to start likely. Thielen's been banged up, man, and he's also been banged up for like 2 years.
So. Well, that's how I feel. I think it's funny. I saw some people tweeting about Laviska Shenault today. I'm like, nah,
no,
don't do it to yourself.
That's let's not get crazy. Sorry, John. If you're gonna start anybody, it's Jonathan Mingo, and I'm pretty sure that's it, right? Or Hayden Hurst, obviously. But for the tight end eligibility, not for the raw points.
Maha Luke in the FFPC league needs a second flex. Mims, Collins, Musgrave, or I guess that's Hollywood Brown. FFPC is tight end premium too, correct?
I know it is, but Luke Musgrave he's like to me, he's the trap play of the week because people are just going to look at quote unquote vacated targets and the fact that some wide receivers are banged up and not actually think about the matchup that Luke Musgrave has against Eddie Jackson. And Eddie Jackson he's on my list of tight end killers, man. He's fully healthy. He had the ankle. He's going to play. So I'm trying to stay away from Musgrave if I can. I'm going to start Marquise Brown there.
Hollywood Brown today. Yeah, I think probably of the group, he makes the most sense. Mims, I could be talked into, but Hollywood is fine for me. What are your thoughts on Jaden Reed? We don't have a question on it, but just your overall opinion on him. I like him in DFS at the price point, $3,000 today. I mean, he's the only wide receiver not limited, it seems like. So
this is what I've been doing at that exact level, and I actually talked about it kind of with Howard on the last show, is that if you make your core lineup, there's a couple guys in that price range, Marvin Mims and Jaden Reed, both around $3,000, that you can kind of make your core lineup and then sprinkle those guys in there every couple spots, and if you hit, you hit. So that's what I'm doing. Is I have one Mims lineup, I have one Jaden Reed lineup, and there's a couple other guys in that range where I'm like, slam.
Annie is one for Scott Fishbowl. Boyd, Donovan Peoples-Jones, or Zeke Elliott today?
Ew. I don't know. Tyler.
I go DPJ.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a why not. He's got the highest upside because we don't know. Like, we know for sure Tyler Boyd is the third fiddle,
right?
And we know for sure that Zeke is splitting at best. But DPJ, who knows? He could be the guy.
He had a lot of great games there at the end of last year. So
his uncle, in my mentions on Twitter, said he was the wide receiver too. So we have it from one source.
I'll give a flyer at DPJ. I'll say this. We'll know after this week which one's the right answer. So and then we can plan for it next week, and you'll have a better idea. Ethan in here says if Waller can't go, Everett or Dulcich. I mean, listen, Waller's expected to play. There was a report that said the questionable designation is more of a probable, but they don't have probable anymore. So Waller's fine. If you're very worried about eating a zero, because obviously it's a late game, Dulcich over Everett for me.
Right. And the thing is, Everett plays they're both at 4:00, so you can wait, honestly. Okay. Yeah. But start Dulcich. Everett, he's just so far down that pecking order right now. And in last year, both wide receivers got hurt. But if this year someone gets hurt, they have Quentin Johnson. They spent a first-round pick on him. So how many injuries away is Gerald Everett from doing something? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Could be a lot.
Could be a lot.
Jason here, favored in a matchup by 10 already in a PPR. Risk upside of Waller or play likely?
Waller.
Yeah, play Waller. And Dunn wants to know what we do at Waller. You play him.
Put him in your lineup. Yeah. Look around. No Kelsey, no Andrews. George Kittle's dealing with an adductor injury. It's like across the board. If you have Waller, you should be fired up, dude.
Ozzy wants to know DST shouts for week 1, potential seasonal keepers. DSTs? Week 1, defenses for week 1. I mean, if we're talking DFS, I mean, the Commanders are a popular team. Excuse me. I think Howard Bender and I like the Falcons as a sneaky play this week here. Again, we talked about it. Right. They loaded up on defense during the offseason. So I think the Falcons are probably a sneaky defense this week to keep an eye on in teams.
Yeah, most high-end ones are rostered, but those are the 3 that you can get away with. Commander, you can potentially find Commanders, Broncos, Falcons. And there's a guy on Reddit, Subverted Down is his name. Shout out. I really like his stuff, and he likes those teams as well.
Nice. I always love when I say things and then other people confirm those opinions.
Right. Yeah.
Donald Kincaid he drafted Kincaid, but he has Schultz, Hill, and Everett. Would you pick anybody?
They're on the wire, he said, and
Oh, okay.
leave Taysom Hill on the wire. You don't want to play that game in, sick. He had like, a few good games, but he had more games, 6 games with less than 5 points in standard, in PPR, every format, because, all his points are pretty much standard points, less than 5 points, man. And that's 37% of the games he played. Like, I just can't ever trust Taysom Hill. I'm starting Dalton Kincaid. And
you
if
drafted
possible,
Dalton Kincaid to be your tight end. At least give him a chance in week 1, right? Like,
yeah. Sorry. He says and likely. But so here's what I'm doing. If you can start likely without dropping Kincaid, then do it. If the only option is to drop Kincaid, then just start Kincaid and keep Kincaid.
Yeah. We have King Va here. Welcome into the show. Cam Akers and James Cook.
Akers, right?
Yeah, I'm going Akers. Listen, I love Cook. I think season long. I think there's some really good upside, but I don't know. I mean, if you listen to the Jets defensive players, they say they're going to be like the 86 Bears this year, the 2000 Ravens. They're talking them up to be like an all-time great defense. So I don't know if running out Cook there. Guys, we appreciate you dropping into the stream here. Give us a like and subscribe. Get your questions into the chat there. Quick recap, Coop. You want to let everybody know what we got going on with the Better Cast and what they can do today. We got covering the 1 p.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. games live. Opportunity to win some free prizes.
Yeah, get in there. So BetterCast is our new app, and it's so cool. You can go in before the game. So on Thursday, for instance, you go in before the game and you answer questions like Patrick Mahomes over under 300 passing yards. He went under, right? So you load those up in advance, and you get points for those as the day goes. But while you're watching, questions will pop up about what you're watching in the game, and you can basically answer those and get points. And there's a leaderboard that they keep where you can see your name up at the top, which is pretty cool. And it's so early in the app's existence that the sooner you get in, the more of an OG and early adopter you're going to be, and the higher on that overall leaderboard you're going to be. Like we've got, I don't want to give too much away, but we've got, setups with a lot of sports to have this game be integrated potentially into what's going on there. And you can do it for free and win prizes like Fanatics gift cards to get Fanatics owns everything now. So with a Fanatics gift card, you have keys to the sports world, right? Memorabilia, jerseys, the whole thing. And also we're going to have people join the show, join the broadcast, like, celebrities, former players. So you can get exclusive tickets to those watch parties and hang out and watch games with certain people. And honestly, at some point, we're probably going to be doing too. And 100%. This show right now is on the app.
Live. So live on the BetterCast app right now. So scan the QR code, download it. Again, it's free to download, free to play. Who doesn't love an opportunity to win some free NFL merch, some free signed memorabilia? So check it all out. Again, scan the QR code on the screen here and join us in the BetterCast today. Coop, questions keep rolling in. Again, we appreciate everybody who is joining us here, getting ready for NFL Week 1. Craig Jordan in the chat, Javonte, Mostert, Rashad White, Lockett, pick 2 in a PPR. Some pretty good plays here, Coop.
Yeah, great plays. So JSN is a full go, which is very surprising to me.
Yeah.
I think I'm starting Mostert given the circumstances, and then I don't know either. You know my answer on Javonte.
Yeah. I'll go Rashad White. I think Rashad White is probably the spot.
With this particular crew. I've already said I've picked Javonte and some of the other ones.
I went Rashad White earlier when we had the Javonte question. So for the sake of consistency here, unless a report comes out that the change is that Rashad White, Mostert for me. I will say I am a very big DK Metcalf guy this week. Love him in DFS. I am a little worried, though, that he may be giving them some bulletin board material. I don't know if you heard the quote. They asked DK about not having Jalen Ramsey on the Rams anymore. He said, I can't actually tell you who's in their secondary anymore. So, usually not like the, not the greatest thing to say, right? So we'll see if that wakes up the Rams secondary to play a little tougher today. But I do like that we're going to have. Yeah, Weapon X in chat saying 3 days ago, he said Javonte Smith being for a big role. I agree. Again, I think the headline everybody read yesterday is a little misleading. If you listen to the actual interview, he just said he doesn't have a number for him. So people took that as a snap count limitation. In reality, Peyton said he didn't have a number. So I don't know. We'll see what's going on there. Let's see. Other question.
We have some inactives trickling in, but what I want to do, let's wait until they're up. in full, and then we'll take a quick pause from the questions and just run through them. Bang, bang,
Sure.
bang, 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 bang.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we'll
We'll
go right
hit
back
the
to questions.
inactives whenever everything's in. You got you can go to FantasyStarm and check out the inactives page that we have over there as well, and Coop will get them through for everybody.
Yep.
Higbee or Deontay Johnson, I guess, today for a flex.
Deontay Johnson, for sure. I mean, he's a target machine. Everything Higbee does, Deontay Johnson does, except way better.
Yeah, I agree. And here, another question for us. Deion Jackson, P. Ryan Dubs, Elijah Moore, full disclosure, already starting Javonte, needs 2 for a PPR. Romeo Dubs on a snap count, so I can't go there. Where would you go with Deion Jackson, P. Ryan, and Elijah Moore, though, Coop?
Start 2. I think here I'm definitely starting Elijah Moore. Just to give you give yourself a shot at a guy with a full, potentially being the second target on that team. In a game
Zach Moss isn't going to play, so you're only looking at Hull and Jackson as the running backs in Indy.
And Hull is basically Naheem Hines, right? He's just a smaller pass catching back.
Yeah, and the thing is, Jackson had 2 games last year where he had 10 targets and 10 catches and 8 catches. So it's not like he's a slouch catching the football there either.
Load him up, Deion and Elijah.
You could play both. You could play P. Ryan still and just take whatever points come out of the Broncos backfield. But it's low upside, I guess. So
yeah, that's where I'm at. It's too low upside.
Yeah, static here.
If that Jaleel McLaughlin rumor proves to be true, you'd be pulling your hair out. So you got to try and stay away from.
It'd be like when Blake Bell scores a touchdown, you play Noah Gray. Like you're just wondering what's going on. Miles Sanders, Raheem Mostert.
We had this question already, and I went Raheem Mostert. It's so close on those 2 guys, though.
Yeah,
in my big hometown league, I'm starting both.
Again, Mostert for me because I think the Dolphins have a higher output of points today. Archie here, full PPR to flex. London, Herbert, or Javonte?
London, Herbert. I'm starting with Drake London.
Yeah, I'll go London here. Again, I like Javonte, but London I think is in a really good spot here. Then he's in a different league. He's got Jamal Williams or James Conner.
That is interesting, man, because Jamal Williams, hypothetically, if you don't start Jamal Williams this week, when the hell are you ever going to start him?
He's got 2 more weeks as the primary guy. I think Williams for me is the guy.
Yeah, let's do that.
They're projected to win that game. He gets the red zone work, and if anything, he'll get the late carries as well. So
Cardinals going to be so bad, dude.
Yeah. We have deal factor here. Gesicki likely or Chig without Andrews?
Likely. Yeah, just start likely.
Conkle, Superflex, start 2. Herbert, Lawrence, or Richardson. I'm starting the first 2. I'm not going to go
for sure. Yeah, Richardson is your upside stab, but you got to start Herbert and Lawrence. The fact that you have both those guys is amazing.
Yeah, start Herbert and Lawrence for sure. Wait for Richardson. PPO, Flex, Javonte, Marquise Brown, or Romeo Dubs. I go Javonte here.
I could go Javonte there too, actually.
Sonny Richards, Dalvin Cook, or Raheem Mostert.
Ooh. With Teron Armstead out, I think you might got to go Dalvin, right?
Yeah, I like Dalvin here. I think Dalvin's a good spot. PPR need 1, Kenneth Walker, Jamal Williams, Antonio Gibson.
Oof. I'm not going to start Gibson with those 2 guys there.
I lean Jamal Williams.
Jamal.
That's where I go this week. Let's see. Waller thing. Do you worry about Waller or play Kittle?
I just start Waller. Kittle's equally shook up, and that game is don't be surprised when that game is a defensive battle.
Yeah, I'm with you. Waddle or Kirk today?
We skipped Dalvin or Mostert.
No, we answered that one already.
Okay.
Typed it twice.
Okay, Waddle or Kirk? Waddle.
And in case Sonny missed it, we want Dalvin Cook over Mostert. Yeah, Waddle for me as well. AA wants to know what our thoughts for James Cook floor. I like him. He's going to be an RB. I think he's going to be an RB2 at worst here for Buffalo. We saw what Singletary was able to do last year, and I think Cook doesn't really have much behind him. Damian Harris could get some red zone work, but so does Josh Allen. So I'm not really
the James Cook falls into the category of players where I'm very excited to see what they look like and their usage looks like, and I would love to see it on my bench. Sure. If I could afford to put the guy on my bench and see what the heck's going to go on, just because the matchup is terrible. And then if he gets a ton of looks and a ton of snaps, then now we know that we can start him every week moving forward against better matchups.
Troy says he's cutting me. That hurts, man. That's sad.
Troy.
Lucky Lebo, Javonte Williams, Jamal Williams, Brian Robinson, or AJ Dillon.
Jamal Williams for me, but Javonte in that crew isn't.
I mean, listen, he had 5 targets in the preseason game he played in, and Joe Lombardi always throws to the running back. You saw Alvin Kamara You saw Austin Eckler have success in that offense.
No Kendre. Is Kendre Miller playing?
I think
Kendre Miller's inactive.
Is he officially inactive, or are we?
Yes, I have it. I have it up. I'm just
Okay.
waiting for a couple. It's like a couple teams are waiting on it.
So who's the backup running back to Jamal Williams today?
Taysom Hill, dude.
Yeah, I think again, I like Jamal Williams. Go Jamal Williams today. Jamal Williams also a chalky DFS play, probably getting chalkier as we speak.
I'm waiting on the Steelers and 49ers inactives. Once we have the Steelers and once we have the Steelers and 49ers inactives, I'll have them all, and we can just run through that real quick.
That sounds good.
Let's do a few more questions.
Dak or Watson? He's thinking Dak. So you like the Giants rookie cornerbacks attacking them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I already said that.
That could be the play. Hopkins, Jamal Williams, or Kirk at flex?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. Likely or Waller?
Waller.
Yep, I'm in there. He lists.
Now he's got the 30.
Now he's got the whole list. We're not cutting anybody from the team.
But honestly,
I know you're just joking, Troy.
I know you're joking, but I mean, I'm just saying, two of those guys are on the show, and one of them.
Donald wants to know if the Ravens game started. Not yet, man. Not till it's not even 1 o'clock yet. 1 o'clock. Brian Robinson or Pittman?
I'm starting in my own lineup. I'm starting Raheem Mostert over Pittman, but I think I draw the line at Brian Robinson. If it's a standard league, start Brian Robinson. But any sort of PPR, start Pittman.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you. I'm very eager to see what Richardson looks like. Robinson's getting a lot of volume today. RJ wants to know Higbee or Njoku, and then he has Javonte or Najee Harris.
I'm going for
an interesting question now.
Yeah, I'm going for Njoku simply because I think they're both in good spots, but Njoku is much more athletic. He runs higher A-dot routes. He breaks tackles easier. So if these guys get the same number of targets, I expect Njoku to be the better player.
And then are you believing that Jalen Warren's going to get a shared carry today? Because if that's the case, you got to play Javonte versus the Raiders than playing Najee against the 49ers in a split share.
I don't believe it as much. There's been reports of Javonte splitting with two other backs, with P. Ryan and with Jaleel McLaughlin. So I'm going Najee. Okay. You drafted Najee you drafted Najee in like the second round. You're really going to bench him week 1?
Yeah, I mean, you could.
you could.
It's not a great matchup for Najee Harris anyways. It's against the 49ers. So if you think he's actually split carries, Javonte Williams is where I'm going today. Likely or Juwan Johnson?
Isaiah Likely. Yeah, again, with the Isaiah Likely questions, folks, please include whether you have to drop your starting tight end, because I have people asking these questions.
Sure.
But then if you're going to
drop Juwan Johnson for
don't drop Juwan Johnson for Likely, because then you don't have somebody when Andrews comes back. Sure. John, real quick, I'm going to hit on the inactives.
Go for it.
So Titans today, there's Will Levis is inactive. Dylan Raduns is inactive too, which is an offensive lineman of theirs. But beyond that, nothing super interesting. For the Saints, A.T. Perry is out. Kendre Miller is out. Nothing else that really jumps off the table there. For the Jaguars at Colts game, Jaguars are going to be without JaMychal Hasty. So good news for your Tank Bigsby shares there. And for the Colts, Zach Moss is out. Also, the rookie Will Mallory is going to be inactive. Not sure if that's a healthy inactive or not, but no Will Mallory.
I got the inactives up on the screen here for everybody to take a peek at as well. Just sharing. If you guys want to see, Fantasy Alarm has an entire inactives page. So you go to fantasyalarm.com/NFL/inactives. You can get all of the inactives for everybody over on Fantasy Alarm. So this is where Coop's rattling them off for him. So go check out the Fantasy Alarm inactives page and get all the latest there.
It's beautiful, man. I mean, I feel like people don't know the tools that we have here, like the inactives page, the Vegas page, the matchups page with write-ups for each matchup. And Matthew Sells has this crazy spreadsheet that talks about like how good teams are versus the run versus the pass. That's all in there. Like these tools, craziness. You got to be taking advantage of them. So Keyshawn Vaughn out, rookie tight end Payne Durham out. For the Vikings, nothing really.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy there. For the Cardinals, Kelvin Beachum out. That's a meaningful player. They re-signed him this offseason. Elijah Higgins not playing, but they just signed him, so he wasn't really going to play anyway.
Chase Young's out for the Commanders.
Out for the Commanders. That's a big one. 49ers, Steelers, nothing. Ty Davis Price, but who cares? And Gunnar Olszewski out for the Steelers. Doesn't really matter.
No.
Bengals Chase Brown inactive. So it's the Joe Mixon wheels up Atorium.
Chris Evans, right? Joe Mixon, Chris Evans.
Yeah, I guess Chris Evans.
You guess Chris Evans.
You can catch
running back.
You catch a little bit. No DJ Chark for the Panthers. So Jonathan Mingo is on the menu. Terrace Marshall maybe.
Jeff Okudah officially out for the Falcons. They was leaning in that direction, but a couple of DBs out for Atlanta.
Yeah, Mike Hughes, dude. He's a good slot corner. Cordell Patterson also out. So there you go. It's going to be the 2 running backs. Bingo bango. Texans no John Mechie. So Nico Collins probably locked in. That means it's Tank Dell versus Robert Woods for that other spot there, which is kind of interesting because that team uses a fullback, and they're the 2 guys that get the most snaps could be highly consolidated. Ravens, Mark Andrews out, Tyler Huntley's out, nothing else that really matters. So there you go. We got some information there.
Those are your 1 p.m. Inactives there. So cool. Let's get back to these questions here. We got about 15 minutes left in the show today, but don't worry. Become a member of the Fantasy Alarm family today. You can go ahead, scan the QR code here on the screen, get our 7-day free trial. You can get in our premium Discord. Right now, Kev Tompkins, Britt Flynn, Dan Malin, the whole team's in there answering your Star questions as well. Coop and I will be in there as well. Howard Bender getting you guys ready for NFL Week 1 and every NFL week ahead of roster lock. So sign up today, become a member of the Fantasy Alarm family, get that 7-day free trial. The annual subscription is also 40% off right now, the monthly cost here. So become a member of the family for a year, get access to all of our premium content all season long here at Fantasy Alarm. Coop, let's see where we leave off. Lockett Higgins is the next question.
T. Higgins, dude. Got to.
Yeah, Higgins for
big
sure.
matchup. Big matchup.
Oz wants to know Eagles or 49ers defense, and then Evans or Ayuk.
49ers getting the Steelers. The Eagles are in New England. Man, I mean, can't really miss there, John.
I'm going Eagles. Again, we're Patriots fans. I just do not like this team.
The bend don't break business. Yeah, I think it's gonna be just fine.
That offensive line's been so bad this preseason, and the Eagles are just loaded. So
yeah, and you got to start Mike Evans against the Vikings. The Vikings is the matchup.
I am not a Baker Mayfield fan, but I think all of the receiving props on Evans and Godwin are low today. So if you're playing some DFS pick'em games, I have my underdog fantasy plays out on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube as well. But if you're making any bets, any pick'em plays today, I like the Evans over yards. I think it was like 55.5. That just feels pretty low to me.
Right.
Bradford here, full PPR, Mostert, Herbert, Javonte. I think we've been split on this one a few times. I think we like Mostert though.
I think we like Mostert. Yep.
Mostert or Connor today and a half PPR.
Mostert.
Yeah, Mostert. Fields or Love?
Fields.
Yeah. Let's see here. Goddard or Higbee?
That one's very close. I do hate the matchup for Goddard, but I can't put Higbee ahead of him just because Higbee is just So I'm still going to go with Goddard. Go with Goddard even with the bad matchup.
People like the no cup, they gravitate towards Higbee. They can't help it.
Get Higbee in your DFS lineups. He's very affordable and should be reasonable play.
Need 2 for flex. Tight ends get 2 points for PPR here. You have Davis, Cooks, Everett, and Musgrave.
I'm going to start Brandon Cooks, and I can't start Musgrave.
Even in a 2-point PPR?
I just think he's going to get vaporized by Eddie Jackson.
Okay.
I think I would just start Gabe Davis and Brandon Cooks. Although, both corners for the Jets are good. God damn. That's a tough question.
Musgrave is probably the next guy in target share.
I think I actually would. This is where I would start Musgrave. So I would start Brandon Cooks and I would start Musgrave and just hope that they mix and match who covers who.
Sure. I would agree with you. Our guy, Chris Murray, Fuzzy Chris here, needs 2. Akers, Walker, Mostert, full PPR. We're definitely not Mostert. It's an Akers or Walker question.
I think it's Akers, man. I think it's Akers.
I'm going to go Akers here today as well. Just the fact that he tweaked the leaves and you missed a lot of time.
He drafted Akers, a running back.
Yeah, Charbonnet's behind him. Jared Moore. What's up, Jared? My guy.
Jared,
Jamal Williams and Michael Pittman.
It's a very good question.
I
go Williams too, but I just wish Jared, you should know better. Tell us if it's PPR, half PPR, what's going on, But I think you got to go Jamal Williams because we just don't know what Anthony Richardson's going to do.
Kev Tompkins dropping some knowledge here. Says the backup running back is a converted wide receiver, Kirk Merritt. So,
there you go, dude. Get him in some. No, don't start Kirk Merritt.
Don't start him. Vito, Chigger, Dulcich. He's got a follow-up question here as well. Van Jefferson, Rashad Bateman, Tank Dell. I think you go Van Jefferson here.
I think you do, but you can't start Tank Dell. But I still believe in Rashad Bateman. I do want to see what this new offense looks like. So maybe throw
Zay
Van
Jones is like
Jefferson.
one of my favorite plays of the week. So
Dude,
I'm hopeful that comes through. So
you got a lot of shout outs on the Sirius XM show before this, John.
did I? I was tuned in for a little bit, then I started cooking.
Couple questions.
For the Sunday game day meal, Coop.
Couple Zay, you got it, dude. Couple Zay Flowers questions came in, dude, and I was like, look, John Impemba's hammered in my brain, dude.
Yeah, I love him. Najee, White, Dylan, or Pirine, need 2. Gotta love White for me today. Then it's Najee, Dylan, or Pirine.
It's Najee and White.
Yeah, Najee and White, I would agree. Keenan Allen or T. Higgins lead a little bit closer. I like Keenan Allen.
That's where I'm going, Keenan Allen, especially full PPR. I think that's the game. That's the game of the week, man. Maybe it'll be disappointing, but I mean, everything's set up for fireworks, right?
Yep. Darrell Hill, 3 of 4. Metcalf, Allen, Olave, Godwin. Oof, how do you sit any of those guys? I think I'm sitting Godwin, though.
Yeah, you guys. I love
DK Metcalf. Metcalf's in all of my DFS lines.
And the thing is, that's crazy about that is you normally we'd say go out and try and make a 2-for-1 trade, but like, who do you trade for? Godwin and Olave try to get like Justin Jefferson or something. I mean,
well,
if you can,
get a running back, so we'll get it out for sure.
Yeah. What are you cooking today, by the way, John?
I made some meatballs. I had an hour break between the 9 to 10 and then the 11 to 12 show. So in that hour, I made some meatballs for today. So we got them in the crock pot. We're ready to go.
Tell us in the chat what you guys are cooking today. I want to know. Now I'm fired. I'm fired up for football today, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get these questions.
Harry Baker wants to know Gibbs or Dubs. I don't think you can go Dubs, but can you play Gibson today?
Yeah, you can. I think they're just both. What happens a lot of times, like in the early part of the game, it's going to be a lot of Robinson, but I think they're just going to use both players. There's no reason to give one guy 20 carries and one guy 5.
Sure. I would agree with you. Cody wants to know Guts play Brian Robinson over Rashad White, half PPR. I mean, Robinson definitely has the easier matchup.
Go always, dude. If it's that close, always go with your gut, dude.
Yeah, so I like Robinson a lot. I'm just gonna say, remember, Rashad White at times was catching more balls than Leonard Fournette was. So,
I know he was, but
so people for whatever reason always love the backup. So the Sean Tucker hype has been like rolling lately. Right. But I mean, Rashad White was playing over Leonard Fournette at times.
God, I wish Brian Robinson could catch so bad.
Yeah, he got a little bit. He's got a little bit of hands.
What did he catch? 7 balls last year?
Yeah, a couple. Geno Smith versus the Rams or Derek Carr versus Tennessee today.
Geno, dude.
Yeah, Geno.
Just go with what we know because we don't know what Derek Carr could be bad.
Better boss. Keyshawn Vaughn is inactive. Yeah, he should have cut those shares 2 years ago when they drafted him in the 4th round and he didn't play. Guadalupe here. PPR.
Guadalupe.
Alexander Madison versus Tampa Bay. Connor versus Washington. Evans versus Minnesota. I think you go Evans versus Minnesota.
Yeah, if you only pick one, then Evans versus Minnesota.
And then Geno or Deshaun today.
Deshaun. That game should be high scoring.
Yeah, I like that one. Connor or Addison in a PPR.
James Conner. I'm happy to have Addison where I have him. We have to remember that we draft for upside, but when we pick the player to start, we got to go based on the matchups, and you have to use deductive reasoning, right? So I love having Addison, but James Conner, we know what he is. Jordan Addison, we have no idea. He could be playing a partial snap. They gave Josh Oliver so much money, and they also have CJ Ham, that one of KJ Osborne and Jordan Addison is going to be playing a partial snap share, and they might just both be rotating. So I got to see it.
Yeah, at least I know Connor's going to get the volume both in the passing and running game here.
Right.
Waller or Likely?
Waller.
Yeah, Waller. Thomas, Marquise Brown, Mike Evans. I think I go Mike Evans, but I know you love Michael Thomas.
Yeah. Daryl, just be ready to move Waller to an IR spot if you have one, and just throw Daniel Bellinger in there, honestly, because it's like, it's not that bad. Daniel Bellinger is not that bad. If Waller's out, but otherwise you start Waller. I'm starting Michael Thomas. I don't care. I have the blinders on, and you can ignore my answer. John, what do you?
I said Mike Evans, so
it should probably be Mike Evans smoke. But
I'll say this: Michael Thomas is at least healthy right now. So you
might be the one. You could be the 2/3 of a game where you can start him.
Right. So it's a great spot for him. All the focus is going to be on Chris Olave. I do like Mike Thomas in DFS because he's $100 on DraftKings this week. So just get some shares there. Jared said he knew better. Let's see here. Thoughts on Ertz being active from Jack?
Yeah, that just takes Trey McBride completely off the board. Ertz is a guy that played with Jonathan Gannon in Philadelphia. He's there to be a leader of this team, and he's there to contribute. So Ertz could be a sneaky DFS play. I'd rather just not start either of them, but I'm throwing Ertz on some bench spots just so I can. I have him. I was able to like get him into an IR spot on one, so I'm just gonna.
We got a couple minutes left, Hoops. Let's rapid.
Okay, yeah, rapid fire.
Jaden Reed, JSN,
Deontay Johnson.
Okay, Daniel Jones, Pickett.
Daniel Jones.
Jason Wolf's doing some grilled chicken. Love that. Oh, they're giving us our food, sausage and hot dogs. Love that. Jamal Williams or Dalvin Cook?
Ooh, I think I'm going to start. I think I like Jamal Williams there because the Bills' defense is still pretty good.
Jamal Williams. Adam's doing pulled pork sandwiches and Skittles.
Please, hopefully not together.
The concession stand at his son's game. I love that. Love that.
I like them both as long as that's not one menu.
I love the slow roll there. I'm reading line by line. JSN or Dubs? I think JSN for me.
JSN, yeah. Dubs.
Our guy Fuzzy Chris in here. Chris Murray, Ramondre, Dobbins, McLaurin, Kirk. I like Dobbins a lot.
Can't start McLaurin. Yeah,
I
Dobbins.
think I go Dobbins.
Against the Texans? Yeah, he'll eat them up.
Dobbins for sure. Daryl again. Dobbins or Stevenson. Mostert need two. I think Dobbins and Mostert for me.
Yep.
Then we're getting spammed by a TV chat bot.
Awesome.
And, of course, we'll finish it out. Our guy, Dan Schwartz, cooking some corn dogs today.
Yeah, buddy. Of course corn you are. Dogs. Yeah, TV chatbot. What are you cooking today, dude?
Yeah, TV chatbot. Let us know what you're doing.
Cooking up a bunch of spam in our chat. Thanks for popping
PPR, Cooks, Dotson, Brown, Davis.
Cooks for sure. And then I like Marquise Brown, but I could be sold on Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, Jahan Dotson's where I'm going to lean there.
Cooks
over
and
Brandon
Dotson.
Cooks.
Do it. Terry McLaurin's got the toe.
Jack says he's got Ertz with Andrews, so he's playing Ertz. What are your thoughts on Logan Thomas being active today? You talked a lot of Cole Tucker.
Yeah, Cole Turner. We liked Cole Turner kind of as whoever is going to be the starter for that team. I was interested. That's the tweet that I sent out. Whoever is the starter for that team, I'm interested in because I know Ron Rivera likes the tight end, and we know that Eric Bieniemy has some tricks up his sleeve. He just came from the Chiefs, so Logan Thomas, sneaky DFS play.
Last question of the day here for everybody. Get in the Discord for more and find us on Twitter as well. Full PPR flex, need one. Godwin, Walker, Sutton. Thanks in advance.
Sutton, baby. If you're a Howard Bender fan, then you got to put Sutton in there, dude. You got to.
I would agree with you. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Go download that BetterCast app. Scan the QR code here. Watch, play, win. Get with 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 8 p.m. games with us today. Coop and I will be back next week. Good luck, everybody. Have a good day.
Good luck. I love you. Football's back. Let's go.